The crystal chandelier warmed the mahogany table as my family gathered for Christmas dinner. I'd sat here 32 years watching my father, Richard, carve the turkey with a surgeon's care and a king's certainty. Tonight the air was charged. My mother, Elaine, worried her pearls, while my brothers, Nathan and Lucas, traded glances. I smoothed my black sweater and tasted mashed potatoes I knew by heart. "Clara," Dad said, placing the carving knife like a gavel, "we have something important to discuss." "What's on your mind?" I asked. Dad cleared his throat. "The ritual before verdicts. Your mother and I finalized the will. The businesses, properties, investments will go to Nathan and Lucas. They've shown they can shoulder them." I sipped the old Bordeaux I'd slipped into their cellar. "I understand." "It isn't that we don't love you," Mom added. "You chose a different path, your little computer job, that tiny apartment." Nathan straightened his tie. "The construction firm needs real contracts." Lucas nodded. "The restaurants need hands-on oversight, not really your wheelhouse." "I wouldn't know where to begin," I said. My phone thrummed. Emma, no doubt. I ignored it. Miles froze, eyes wide. Aunt Clara, Forbes just posted the new billionaire list. There's a Clara Weston, 32, from our city, founder of Helix Dynamics. She looks exactly like you." Dad's voice fell to a whisper. "Is it true?" I tasted turkey, folded my napkin, and met their eyes. "Would you like to know?" I led them to my father's oak-paneled study, where the fire hissed like a secret kept. He closed the door, and for the first time the knife was elsewhere, just books, blueprints, and a leather ledger. I stood by the window. Finally, the winter garden frosted white, and decided to stop letting omission do the speaking. "Yes," I said. "Helix Dynamics is mine. We build adaptive robotics for disaster response. I kept it quiet because you taught me everything here is conditional love dressed as legacy." Nathan scoffed. "Conditional? You left the family trade." "I left a hierarchy that mistook obedience for worth," I answered. "When my grant proposals failed, I used the buyout from your failed bistro to seed a prototype." Emma joined. We slept on the lab floor. The first drone pulled a child from a collapsed stairwell. After that, contracts chased us. Mom reached for me. "Why hide it from us?" "Because success here always arrived with an invoice," I said. "I wanted to know if I mattered without paying." Dad opened the ledger. "You mattered. We were clumsy at showing it." I took the pen from his desk, signed the margin, and slid the book back. "Here's my amendment. Keep your companies. I'll fund scholarships for the workers' kids and a safety program for the sites. No strings." Lucas exhaled. "And us?" "You'll be fine," I said, turning the knob. "For once, let the will be a mirror, not a leash." At dawn, I drove alone to Pierfield, where Dad's newest tower pierced the gray. Wind tugged at the caution tape. I signed in, clipped a helmet, and stepped onto the steel skeleton I used to avoid. Below, concrete trucks groaned. Above, gulls wrote cursive the sky. Emma met me at the freight elevator with coffee and a grin that steadied me. "This is where your scholarship fund starts," she said. "Orientation at 9. We walked through the safety center our grant had built. Simulation bays, first aid pods, drone docks like nests. Crews filed in. Grease under nails, weekend fatigue, wary hope. I told them why we were there. Fewer funerals, more promotions, robots that listen before they lift. When the siren blared, a drill, the floor trembled and our swarm unlatched, mapping exits, translating instructions into Urdu and Spanish, triaging a wound. Applause rose like a tide. A throat cleared. My family stood in hard hats. Mom's pearls replaced by earplugs, Dad's ledger by a badge, my brother's ties traded for neon vests. Dad approached the dais. "We came to argue," he said, voice brittle. "But your work spoke faster." He extended a calloused hand. "If you'll have us, we'll learn." Nathan managed a half smile. Lucas nodded. Mom pressed a pamphlet to her chest. I took Dad's hand. "Start as trainees," I said, and the room laughed with me, not at me. Sunlight struck the beam today, and the tower felt like a home I'd built. 6 months later, the tower opened and the scholarships had their first class. I kept a hard hat on my desk beside the old ledger Dad gave me, its margins crowded with our new lessons. Emma teased that I'd finally made peace with mahogany. Maybe I had. At graduation, a welder's daughter lifted her diploma and shouted our motto, "Listen before you lift." Dad cried quietly, Mom cheered, my brothers volunteered for night drills. I walked the catwalk alone afterward, not to escape, but to admire. Legacy, it turned out, was not inheritance, just the promise to build without fear today.